The creature looks at her. I do not wish to reveal that information, I think. One cannot be too careful about personal details when traveling. Know that I have come from far away.
You found that is easy for anyone to say, though.
He shrugs. Do you doubt me?
Not entirely. However, one can never be too sure when traveling.
Seems to smile. Indeed, indeed.
He still hasn't told me what I can do with the stone.
No, he has not.
Tristan asked him, like, is he in a condition to just talk and... Is she okay to have a conversation still, or is she completely out of it?
No, she can certainly butt in if she wants.
Got a bit of a nosebleed, but...
I said a nosebleed. The Cleric can take care of that. She wants to... Is there anything I can do with the stone I showed you? He still has it, doesn't he?
Yeah, she still has it in his hand. He seems to, shrug a bit and say, very well, I guess I can reveal that much. My native plane, if that is what you seek, is the plane of Leng.
Does Tristan know that one?
You can make a planar check. Alauneari has heard of the plane of Leng, but not much else. She's not actually sure what kind of place it is. The only thing she knows is that Leng is a very distant dimension. It is barely mentioned by scholars on Golarion. It is generally regarded as a very inhospitable place, hedged with titanic mountains and home to creatures which usually, defy normal categorization or understanding.
Oh, well, that makes it easy.
I assume me and Zakari rolled up with anything extra.
No, you don't really reveal more information than that.
Anything hinting at that he's just making this up?
Oh, he seems serious enough. Right. You do know. I mean, with your combined roles, you can sort of talk among each other if you wish for a second, and you do come up with that the dimension of Leng is centered around what is called the Plateau of Leng, which is theorized to be a pocket dimension within the dimension of dreams, and accessible through it. On the Plateau of Leng is the fabled city of unknown Kadath, which it is said that no mortal on this plane has actually ever visited or returned from. It is basically only known through hearsay or creatures like this that visit from it. Normally it is considered to be, as I said, a very inhospitable place, not really any place you want to visit.
Well, Neri will not ask him then. So I have some questions. You seem to be very knowledgeable.
So many questions! What was the question from Tristan?
What she can do with the stone. If she can do anything with it.
He shakes his head. Sadly, the stone is an old sliver, a remnant, a bone fragment, if you will, from the titanic beings that fought in this cavern once upon an age. It is inert right now. Its power is lost. Whatever it imparted to you, it has done so, possibly only because you were tainted.
Bummer.
It is of some interest to me. I would be willing to purchase it from you.
Ooh.
Alauneari nods. That seems to be a prudent arrangement.
Nods. Excellent.
What do you have to offer?
I am willing to pay 300 gold pieces for the sliver.
They're going to the candy factory.
Alauneari just nods.
I don't think I have a praise, so yeah.
Nods. Excellent. He seems to, fish around in his robe and pulls out a small collection of coins.
Yay!
Alauneari looks at him and says, "Then, among people of power, do you know anything about the apocalypse, the calamity there is to come?"
He seems to frown. Where did you hear that?
She sort of waves it away and says, "Have you heard it, then?"
He seems to move. You get the feeling that he's a little bit uncomfortable. And he says, "There are whispers, yes, but there are always whispers."
"Then tell me, what have you heard?"
Nothing much. The last time I heard it was when I was traveling in the outer sphere, close to what is called the Maelstrom. You would know it as one of the abyssal realms, I suppose. There's a whisper that something is afoot in the abyss. Power struggle, but something more unusual than normal. A stronger connection to the material plane than before. I am not sure exactly what is on the move, but it seemed that many of the Abyss more powerful players are getting ready for something. If you are indeed allied with one of the abyssal powers, and you seem to be, that might be something to keep in mind.
Alauneari nods and says, "We certainly are on the move, and we do intend to take this plane by storm. It is our divine right."
He seems to nod. Of course it is. Far would it be for me to defy such a claim, at least as it has no particularly power over me. Again, you get a feeling that he is smiling. But yes, you seem to be somewhat watched over. I can feel powerful spells woven into you. Someone very crafty has looked over you at one point.
Still, we are at the beginning of our ascension, and at the moment we are seeing who is capable of understanding such a destiny. Some, of course, would refuse us, but you seem to have a good grasp of the possibilities of such, while some in this plane are, woefully unfamiliar with the planes and the possibilities of magic, and especially the abyss. You seem to have some knowledge of it. I have further some questions to relay, if you would indulge me. And she will actually take out the list of musings she has had about the questions she got from Zyn Vytharia, and she will begin asking just a few of them.
Mm-hmm. Which ones?
Well, let's go with the first one then. Did Yath Squa transfigure after the ratification of the Voldar Drani, or does he remain transfixed upon the Tellurian concerns?
The master seems to consider this. And he falls silent and bows his head a bit as if he's deep in thought.
You'll give him time. She's quite curious as to the answer you will provide.
That is a very specific question. I'm intrigued why you're asking it.
Its answer holds special meaning. We all have our little secrets.
He snorts under the hood. I suppose so. Seems to consider. The question speaks of something very ancient. Thousands upon thousands of years ago. Long before what you would call starfall. He sort of looks at you, but I guess you wouldn't know that.
She tries to not reveal anything.
He looks around the room a bit. Yes, that was a problematic time indeed. The planes were in tumult. The sort of stops a bit, but no. I shall not speak of that. Looks around. I wouldn't want to offend any of you. No, the answer to your question, as I said, it is quite specific. Sort of looks at Alauneari.
She nods. That is correct.
And I get the feeling you are not asking this for yourself.
Smiles. The answer will unlock more answers for me in the future. As such, it has value.
I see. Very well, then perhaps we can propose a trade of some sort. I can provide an answer to this question. But
And in return?
Yes, in return what? As I said, I'm a merchant, a trader. I deal in rare exotic goods as well as information.
So to answer my questions, what would you require? What is the price of, say, he seems to think, 6 questions of somewhat similar nature? Surely talking for 2 minutes should cost not much more than 1.
Yeah, he snorts under the hood. Oh, 6 questions. Oh my, oh my. That is a lot of information you are seeking, however.
Not some, I'm sure, will be trivial to you.
But not to you, and it is indeed a seller's market, is it not? And you get the feeling that he is like smiling again under the hood. I could try to provide some of these answers. I will not take payment for things I cannot answer, of course. I am a merchant, not a crook.
She nods.
But some form of compensation would be needed. I don't suppose you would be willing to part with that. And he points at Sakari.
Alauneari sort of looks at him and says, sadly, if it comes too far away from us, it will cease to exist.
Tristan looks at him. He's bound to me.
Oh, well, she would be in the deal as well. Let's make it 2 questions answered then for the both of them.
Tristan looks a little...
She
What?
shakes her head. Ask my sister. She's more valuable than this information. I may hold it to some value. However, it is not something that is necessary to me. It simply would be a convenience to know the answers.
Ah, a pity then. He looks sort of longingly almost at Tristan and Sakari.
Tristan gives him a nervous smile.
There are some beings in the jungle. I have not gathered living specimens of them, but perhaps if you were to bring some of it to me, that could constitute a payment for one question.
He looks at him and says, what creatures are these?
I am interested in the peculiar intelligence that some creatures display in this place. I have already collected samples of your people, and I do not need mundane specimens of that. He sort of again looks over at Tristan. But if you are unwilling to part with the one that accompanies you, then perhaps other sentient creatures.
He nods and says, what do you have in mind?
I do know of the Xan and one of them as payment, as well as this other sentience I have felt in the jungle from the northeast, and he motions towards the Skisral area.
She nods. Perhaps 2 of these would be useful to you.
I am cautiously interested in them, yes.
Oh, there he nods. Those, we actually have some in stock, if you will.
Nods.
It might
Excellent.
take a little time to bring them here. However, that is indeed a deal we can make. We shall bring them here, and when we do, you shall give me answers.
I shall give you one answer, my dear.
She nods. You drive a hard bargain.
He bows. One does not have trading concerns in the Brass City and not drive a hard bargain, my dear.
Nods. I shall remember that then.
He nods. Excellent. Then he seems to motion around, and you see from over here what looks like this pillar with crystals on it. Like a slot opens, and something floats out towards you. It seems to be one of those spheres, although it is not equipped for battle as you see it. It's more equipped with like quills and ink and stuff like that. And it seems to be furiously scribbling something on a piece of parchment. It floats over here and puts it on this small table. And he motions towards us. This is the basic contract. Standard fare, of course. You bind yourself to deliver to me were specimens of the Xan and the Skisral, you said, yes?
Well, there he looks at it. She'll read for the contract.
In return, I bind myself to answer one of your questions. Yeah, she can make an linguistic check to read through the contract.
Why don't I trust this contract? I will assist.
The two of you looking over it, it seems to hold water. It doesn't really seem to have any hidden clauses or anything.
Which means some of you are eternal slaves.
No, nothing like that.
You must include Tristan.
The language is rather clear and straightforward. There doesn't seem to be a lot of sort of legal acrobatics.
So no claiming our souls.
No, not that you can see.
Alauneari sort of takes it up and looks at it and says, that seems to be a good arrangement. However, both these creatures for one question. Would it not be more fair to have one creature for one question? It is still merely 2 out of 6 I will have answered at the end. And since the answers are only really useful to me if I have them all, it seems to be an insufficient price for such amount of work.
Well, the master seems to consider I think it is fair. These are creatures I could possibly collect myself, but it will take time. This is a generous offer. It will save me some time to do the legwork. I could do it with no problem myself. This is a convenience for me. As such, this is what I deem it to be worth to myself.
She looks at it then and sort of shrugs and says, "Perhaps then I shall take you up on your offer at a later time. For now, I might have dealings that could earn me more at the present time. I'm sure you understand."
He seems to consider and then slowly nods. Of course. Profits are always important.
She nods. Indeed. And profit per time is something we must all keep in mind. Now, I assume then that you would be open to future dealings if something came up.
He nods. Yes, of course. I am bound to do all as many deals as I can, as long as they are profitable. I do move around a bit, though I cannot always guarantee that I am here in these caverns. He points at the map. This is where I usually arrive. And he points at the map. And he points to Hex 1710.
She looks at there and says, "Is there anything specific there, or do you just appear in the middle of the jungle?"
He says, there is a specific spot. And he gives you, some features of the place. You can probably easily find it. I arrive there because, well, it is easiest for me to do so. I can move the tower about the jungle, but it is here that I usually return.
Alauneari nods. Says, "Right. Then, that is where we shall find you."
Nods. That is your best bet, my dear.
"And this place?"
This place travels with me.
That's what a practical arrangement. You must have great power to move it, or is it the place itself?
The place is bound to me.
Yes, that is then indeed very useful. Perhaps I shall acquire one myself someday.
A slight smile can be felt from underneath the hood, as he says, "Perhaps."
Then I think our siblings might be getting nervous. We should return to them, and in the future we shall go there to look for you. However, one last question. We have seen a big worm in this mountain, and it would be awful to leave here with it unspoiled.
He seems to smirk. Yes, and that is the creature I came here to study myself.
Yes. Then perhaps we can do some work together.
He seems to consider, perhaps. It does seem to have a penchant for lurking around a cavern where crystals are plentiful. I have located it at the heart of the mountain.
Well, there not. Is there any easy way to get in there?
For you, I am afraid not, but in the spirit of cooperation, I could take you there.
And in return?
He seems to smile. In return, if you were to slay the beast, perhaps give me the corpse.
She seems to think. That seems to be rather one-sided. What would we get out of the deal besides simply slaying the beast?
Oh, did you not say that this was your wish?
Yes, not if there is nothing to be gained from it, surely. We simply thought that perhaps it was guarding something. Its purpose here was of interest to us.
Nods. It is a strange creature. It is not native to this plane.
It is an anomaly, and so we were here to investigate.
He nods.
we do.
Yes. I do believe it is from the plane of fire myself.
And if we had to do business, of course, a profit might be an interesting thing to find.
He seems to smile underneath it. Now you are catching up. Very well then. If profit is what you seek, then I can provide. How about a princely reward of 2,000 gold pieces for the corpse?
She nods, and you will provide transportation in and out of these caves then?
Indeed.
Nods. Is this beast beyond your magnificent power to slay? Or is there another reason for why you allow us to do this?
You see again that he seems to consider you and say, let's say that this is I'm interested to see your capabilities in battle. If you are crafty and powerful, that would inform me of potential future business, you understand?
Assessing your assets and allies.
Indeed. Alauneari picks up that he seems honest enough. She thinks that he's indeed viewing them as a form of economic assets that to be evaluated and categorized.
Sure. Well, she will nod then and say, perhaps then a contract upon this deal should be made. You will aid us in going there, and we will slay the beast. You will return us, and we will get our payment.
He nods. Very well. He motions again to the sphere that seems to start scribbling furiously. And a minute
Enjoy
later,
those little beings, don't you? Looking at the little things scribbling.
they take out a lot of the mundane aspects of running a business.
Yeah. Rain seems to study it as it flies about writing.
Mm-hmm. It is a strange operation indeed.
Maybe not. Would there perhaps be a way to lure out this creature? It might be more interesting to fight it out of its element.
It seems rather fond of the heart of the mountain, I'm afraid to say. The cavern where it is currently resting is large enough for you to battle it in.
She nods. All right, then. I would not want to be cramped.
Indeed not. The contract is laid upon the small table again.
She'll inspect it like she did before.
Yep.
Rain assist. Rain will probably assist on this.
Mm-hmm. You can do a new linguistic check.
And assisting, so 22.
It seems to be in order.
All right. She will take it then.
Mm-hmm. The master will sign it. And again, like the signing is just a series of strange runes to her. And it seems like he is waiting for her to sign it.
She'll sign it with House Vytharia.
Okay. Nods good. Motions to the small sphere that a new arm comes out. It seems to be holding up a sigil of some sort, and it sort of stamps the paper. And you see that yes, indeed, there's like now like a not really a coat of arms, but it's like a sigil on it.
Sure.
And let's see here. It seems to her like it is the sigil of the city Axis.
City Axis.
Yes, the Eternal City.
From Leng?
No, it is in the outer sphere. It is known to her as the plane of order and law.
Oh, well, she doesn't want to go there. It sounds like a horrible place.
Like, out of character, I think it's lawful neutral plane? You can correct me if I'm right or not.
It is probably there because he's part of some merchant's guild, and this means that he probably won't screw us over.
Probably not.
She will recognize the symbol and then nod and say, "Then should I go fetch my siblings before we leave?"
He nods. Certainly. Yes, tell me when you are ready, and I will do the transportation.
She nods, and she will uncourteously take her leave.
Okay.
Rain will leave as well. He kind of doesn't like it up here. Gesturing for Tristan to come downstairs.
Tristan will do a little bow and smile and walk out.
You see the master settling down in his large chair again.
Grab the 20 weapons.
Yep. The spheres look at him lazily.
Sling and dagger.
Oh no, Tristan gets to see where I hide all 20 weapons.
Yay!
Secret compartments.
What? I have to hide some of the daggers somewhere. Not all of the weapons are visible.